Good morning, everyone. We got a light crowd, day after a holiday for some people. Let's see. All right, I'm going to dig into today's program, and I want to leave a little bit of time at the end for those of you that have questions, since we are at the end of our journey for the Algor-WIN program. I cannot believe that it has been 12 weeks. So 12 weeks of massive amount of commitment for you guys. So 12 hours of learning and training, and then beyond that, implementing all the skills that we talked about throughout the program. So I'm going to dig in so that we have time at the end today. Like I said, this is the final program, the last of the 12-week program, and we're going to do a really quick overview of several things. Of course, I have to end the program talking about energy because it is my belief that what affects your career more than anything else, more than actually completing the checklist, more than anything, is the energy that you wake up and bring to your business every day. So we're going to spend the last part of today's program just talking about the currency of your thoughts, because they are everything. Where you are right now is a byproduct of the thoughts and beliefs that you've had up until this moment. So if you want something more and different for your life, then it starts with the thoughts that you are having. We're going to then dig into time and productivity, talking about keeping commitments, and then how to stay the course. And then at the end, for those of you that want a certificate to acknowledge that you've completed all 12 classes, we have a place where you can get your certificate. Okay, so one of the main pieces as we wrap up the Algor-WIN journey that I want to talk about is keeping your commitments. So every commitment, big or small, is a contract with your future self. When you honor it, you build trust, discipline, and personal power. When you break it, even quietly, you chip away at self-belief, and you chip away at trust with others. So as you move beyond the Algor-WIN classes and keep doing the practices every day in your business and life, one of the most important pieces that you have to consider is how do you become even better at keeping your commitments. Commitments are energy contracts. So keeping your word builds your reputation, your self-respect, and keeping your commitments builds momentum for your business. Every time you follow through, your confidence compounds. Every time you follow through in a commitment that you've made to another person or to an organization or to yourself, every time you follow through on a commitment, you further fill a foundation of a belief that you have about yourself. Whereas breaking commitments in general, whether it's with other people or yourself, that creates a fracture in the foundation of your belief system. So think about, as you move beyond today's program, what is a small commitment that you have been making but not keeping? And why does it matter? Because when you keep a commitment to yourself, especially, the foundations grow so strong. So when you miss a class, when you miss doing a CMA, when you've committed to saying, hey, I'm going to do one CMA a day, every time you miss a commitment, you are fracturing the foundation of your own belief system about you. Now, with that comes some other things to think about. Well, why is it that sometimes we break commitments? Oftentimes, we break commitments because we've overpromised. Many of us, especially because of the business we're in, we default to yes. That if somebody asks us something or to do something, our default is yes. And so we don't intend to break promises when we make a commitment or a promise, but we end up making so many promises and so many commitments that you have no other choice but to sometimes break a commitment. So the habit of saying yes to everything dilutes your power, and it ends up eroding your trust. Because if you say yes to everything, eventually you will break commitments, and it erodes the trust with you've had with the other person, and it can even erode the trust that you have with yourself. So people pleasing is not integrity. If you are a people pleaser, that is fear in disguise. So overpromising usually stems from discomfort with saying no. When you say yes to something, you don't mean to do. So if you say, yeah, I'll go do that on Saturday. When you say yes to doing that, you're potentially saying no to something that really matters to you. So when it comes to making a commitment for anything, don't default to yes. Think about it. Just say, I can't decide right this moment. I have to think about it, look at my schedule and see if I can commit. But one of the ways to ensure your success with the Algor-WIN program is to stop defaulting to yes when it comes to making commitments. So there are things that you can develop as part of your vernacular, like the automatic, instead of being an automatic yes when somebody asks you to do something. Instead, you're going to default to, let me check my schedule, I'll get back to you. Or you could say, I'm honored that you even asked, but I'm at capacity right now. Or this isn't a fit for me right now, but thank you. Your goal is to become really good at saying no with grace. Because when you say no to a commitment, oftentimes you're saying yes to yourself. That you're saying, yes, I'm going to work on me. I'm going to work on my business today. And so as you move past our 12-week Algor-WIN program, think about the best ways that you could say no with grace so that you're not disappointing people or hurting relationships. Instead, you're just focusing on building your business and getting to your checklist and completing the things that are necessary instead of giving away your time and your power always to others. Secondly, I can't stress this enough. Oftentimes when we say we can't do something, so somebody asks us like, hey, can you go to this event on Saturday, or could you do this on Monday? Oftentimes, and this is always done, I think, with good intent, we say, no, I can't because, and then we make up a reason as to why we can't make it on Saturday. And in fact, it could be a lie that you're not actually, I can't do it on Saturday because I have this to do. And if that is a lie, that you, and by the way, you did it with good intent, that you didn't want the person to feel like you don't want to attend with them or you don't want to go with them. So you make up a lie that sounds like a good excuse as to why you can't attend. That lie ruins your own vibration. So it actually hurts you in other ways throughout your business and life because you're inviting negative vibration. Anytime there's dishonesty or a lie, you're inviting negative vibration into your business and into your life. And what for? Because by learning how to say no with grace, you don't have to make up a lie. You don't owe it to anybody to explain why you can't commit to them. You could just say, no, sorry, I'm committed that day. I cannot make it. And that way you're not committing yourself to something that you may not be able to do. You're saying yes to yourself, and you're not inviting in negative vibration or energy with an untruth. So remember, when it comes to making commitments, excuses are low vibration in general. So that's why when you say, no, I can't go because of this and this and this, that is an excuse. And it carries a low vibration when there's no necessity to even introduce it. You don't owe an explanation. Just say, I can't make it. Lies create energetic debt. So just making up something that isn't even true, that just creates a negative debt, a negative vibration in your business. And honesty is always the shortcut to trust. So as you move beyond the Algor-WIN planning, think about always keep commitments to you first. So your external commitments reflect your internal ones. If you regularly cancel on yourself, think about this, because oftentimes for many, when you are constantly saying yes to somebody else, you are canceling your own commitment to you. And that pattern ends up leaking into relationships, your work, your energy. So remember, when you are keeping a commitment to someone else, is it at the expense of keeping a commitment to you? So as you are diving in and really getting good at building your career, think about, how do I keep my commitments to me first? And here's a little blueprint for you guys to work off of, a commitment blueprint. So when somebody asks for something, for you to commit your time or energy to something, to go somewhere, a project, to do something, before just saying yes, because I promise you, many of you are wired to saying yes. You're like, yep, I'll do it. So-and-so asked me to do something. The answer is yes. Before we do that, we're going to first say, do I really have the time, energy, and alignment for this right now? We're not going to go to an automatic yes. Number two, we're going to learn how to say no with respect. Protect your energy. Be honest. And you don't owe an explanation to anybody. If you can't commit, just say, I'm so sorry, I cannot commit right now. Three, we're only going to promise when we know for a fact we can deliver. So what happens when you become a people pleaser, that you always say yes because you want to make people happy, is that you say yes to everything, and you know in the back of your head that you've overpromised, and you know in the back of your head, I told 3 people I was going to do something for them next week, and I don't think I can get to all of them. That's negative energy in and of itself. You're only going to promise on what you can deliver. You want to be really, really good at protecting your time, because when you protect your time, you protect your energy and your vibration. And you don't want to be put in a point. How often have you said yes to something because you do want to help? You do want to give your time to this person. You do want to help the cause. But then as the time approaches, you get annoyed at yourself. And you say, why did I say yes to this? I don't have the time. I don't have the energy to do this right now. And think about what that does to your business and your life. You're now inviting negative energy in. Wouldn't it be so much better to just say no from the start? And by the way, if Saturday comes along, somebody invites you, say, is there any way you could do this with me on Saturday? And you say, no, I'm at capacity right now on what I can commit to, so I can't promise that. But I wish you have the best of times, etc. Let's just say Saturday comes along and you've got nothing to do. It's okay to pick up the phone and over deliver. Say, hey, my schedule freed up. Do you still want to do that on Saturday? So much better, because now you're going into the transaction, you're going into the commitment with a positive vibration. You're excited. You want to go into the commitment. Next, always keep your word. Always, even when nobody's watching, it's so important to keep your word. If you say you're going to be there, it's really important that you be there, which is why it's so important to learn the art of a graceful no. Because what will end up happening is you will identify yourself as somebody that never breaks a commitment. So you have to learn the art of a graceful no, because you know that canceling is never an option. Not showing up is never an option. And then occasionally things happen. You're just not going to be able to show up. Even when you've taken all steps necessary to say no when possible, to only commit when you absolutely know you can do it. When you fall short, and you do occasionally maybe have to, you have no choice but to break the commitment. You have to just acknowledge it, apologize, and recommit next time. Like, you can't dwell on the energy of the fact that you didn't deliver, which is also another place where many of us get so stuck that it's like you get so mad at yourself for not coming through, that then you create once again a negative energy that you bring into your business and your life. Okay, my thing froze. Hold on. There we go. I'm going to reshare. Okay. Next piece, beyond becoming a pro at keeping commitments, we're going to talk about how do you remain super highly productive after the end of this program, when you no longer have these Monday meetings to commit to. How do you stay super, super productive in your business? Well, first of all, you have to build a CEO level mindset. You are the CEO of your own Fortune 500 company. Um, you have to look at yourself as more than, hey, I'm just a real estate agent. I go show houses when I have time. No, you're building a business. If you've committed to the Algor-WIN program, then you have committed to step by step building the blocks of an incredible real estate business. So this is no longer a job. It takes intentional planning. That means not reacting when something happens, but instead everything comes planned. And also, that CEO level mindset means that you have to be super clear on what's the one thing, the most leveraged activity that drives your results. So think about all the things that you do in your business. And the good news is you have the Algor-WIN book that kind of breaks everything down. But there are the one thing that you do that is going to create consistent results. For many of you, that CMA a day program was the one thing. So if you were committing to doing a CMA a day, don't stop doing that, because that could be the one thing that, hey, I have 10,000 things I have to do in my business every day, but there's one thing that absolutely must get done. I cannot skip it. It's the CMA a day. And then, as we said a few minutes ago, we have to start saying no to things that don't serve our goals or our clients or our best life. Moving forward, you have to become really good at time blocking, like your business depends on it. So one of the ways to do that is to take all the pieces of the Algor-WIN book, like all the checklists. For example, you have the weekly checklist. The weekly checklist should be time blocked somewhere into your schedule on a weekly basis. Like, those 9 items should show up on a block of time somewhere in your schedule. Same with the monthly checklist. Those things, everything on the checklist should be time blocked into your schedule. So all this means is transferring your checklists onto a calendar and knowing that during these times is when I'm going to work on these items of the checklist. And by the way, this is a reminder as well. All of this is time blocked. All of this is in your checklist, but I can't stress enough, in those checklists, as you'll remember, there were things that you schedule for you. So, like, personal time for you each week, like maybe it's going to yoga or reading or something. It is equally important that you time block that stuff, because many of you are going to default to time blocking the items that have to do with your business, but then you're not going to time block the yoga class or going for a 5-mile walk every day. But those things are equally important, and they were created like that. The other piece that we talked about is your gratitude, writing out your gratitude list. All of those are equally important to the other real estate related tasks, because those things help increase vibration. And that is one of the goals of the Algor-WIN program, is to increase vibration. One thing I could tell you is that if you do the entire Algor-WIN program and step by step, you do every single piece of the program and you have a vibration that is negative, and that doesn't mean negativity. That doesn't mean like you're a negative person, although it could be. If you are a negative person, that is negative energy. But oftentimes, it's the most positive people that still bring negativity into their life, that energy of a low vibration into their life, not through being a negative person, but you bring it through, for example, breaking commitments to yourself. You can be a very positive person and break commitments to yourself. That's a low vibration. Not respecting yourself is a low vibration. Worry and fear, these are huge. Worry and fear can disrail an entire real estate business. So when I say that your success as a real estate agent is dependent upon a high vibration internally, it's not just about being, hey, I got to be upbeat all the time. In fact, you don't have to be upbeat all the time, but you have to know what are low vortex energies, and it's not just being negative, so that you can influence the energies, surround yourself with good energies. I've mentioned before, you could be the most positive person and live in absolute chaos, that everywhere around you is chaos. Like your desk is a mess, your car is a complete mess, your house is complete clutter. All of that's negative, low vibration. And so you could be the most happy, positive, upbeat person. And when you walk into the chaos of your environment, it's going to drag your energy down. So back to remaining productive. Create repeatable daily routines. So that's one of the reasons why we love the CMA a day program, is because it's a repeatable daily routine. This is one of the reasons why the Algor-WIN program works. The Algor-WIN program works because it is all repeatable routines. So we tell you what to work on each week, each month, every year, what to work on in each buy-side appointment, each list-side appointment, every new listing. It is all about creating routine. Systematize everything you can. To remain productive, you want to be working on the things that create the most value for you. In fact, you don't want to spend any time doing stuff that somebody else or a system can do for you. So, for example, I'm a huge fan of the Fellow platform, because Fellow is a CRM that will stay in touch with your contacts every 2 weeks, even without you doing anything. And then it will report back to you. Each week, it'll say to you, hey, these are the people that you should be reaching out to because they're most engaged with the content we're sending. Systematize your emails, your text messages, systematize your process for when you have a new client. We talked about all of these through the Algor-WIN program, like specific steps every time you have a buyer, specific steps every time you have a listing appointment, and then use tools to automate repetitive tasks. So if there's certain things that always happen, in fact, I worked this weekend on this very item, automating a repetitive task, that after I meet with a agent who's considering joining the brokerage, I like to send them each week an email of a tool, a training, or a technology or something like that that Lair has to offer, just as a reminder to stay in touch. And I realized after all these years, I do a lot of that manually. Like I give myself a checklist, like I have to do that. And I said, no, I'm going to build out a system that does that. So now I have a 6-month system that once I meet with a candidate, I put them onto a system so the system can stay in touch for me. In order to remain productive moving forward, you have to begin to really dig into the tools you have. Canva Pro, Fellow, Loop, Google Drive, Calendly, like really get to intimately know each of the products that help you in your business. Because I promise you, in all of these, there are pieces that you're not using as effectively as you could be. So dig in and become the expert. Just pick one and say, I'm going to become an absolute expert on this because I know that there's things that could make my life easier and my business easier. Because every time that you don't have to put brain power or energy into thinking about something because your system does it for you, that frees up energy and brain power that you can put towards going out and getting new business. Next, stay accountable as you leave the 12-week program. Think about maybe having an accountability partner, or maybe you have a group in your office that all did the Algor-WIN program. Just say, hey, do you want to do a weekly check-in call just to see how we're staying on top or how you guys are staying on top of everything? And when it comes to being accountable, you can also set it up so that you're accountable just to you. So maybe each Monday you wake up and you say, okay, I'm going to go through my metrics from last week. How many CMAs did I send last week? How many conversations did I have? How many appointments did I set? How many offers did I write? And how many listings did I take last week? So perhaps your accountability is just with you, but track it so that you are accountable, so that you are paying attention. And then to remain productive, and we'll spend the next 15 minutes talking about this, manage energy, not just time. So that means that by getting out and exercising, we've talked about this. This is why doing all those things we've built into the Algor-WIN program, things to do just for you. All of that, getting out and moving, it fuels energy. Protect your mindset. Cannot stress this enough. Your success with the Algor-WIN program, your success with any goal you have in life comes down to your mindset. So like I said a few minutes ago, you could do the entire Algor-WIN program, and if you have negative energy and negative vibration, and that does not mean being a positive person, it's all the other things that affect vibration. If you go into it with a negative vibration, you might as well not even do the program because you're going to have very little results. Your energy, much of that just coming from your own thoughts and beliefs, your energy is the most important part. It is the fuel that makes the Algor-WIN system work. And as you are working through the Algor-WIN program, always think about your new identity. So if you are going after a really big goal or a big vision, you will need to become a different version of you. Who you believe yourself to be right now got you to right here. Well, you're in the Algor-WIN program because you want something more for your life. In order to get that something more for your business or your life, you have to become a different version of you. Your results are a byproduct of who you believe yourself to be. So you are not going to get to a different destination in your business by believing the same thing you believe right now about yourself. You need to start proving to yourself that you are somebody more than you originally thought you were. Let's talk about staying the course. So this is all about your thoughts and energy because it is one of the most important. The Algor-WIN is the details. The Algor-WIN is like the systems and checklists. And throughout the entire Algor-WIN book, we build in certain things that all affect energy. For example, the gratitude practice. Gratitude is the fastest way to build your vibration. It is the fastest way to go from a negative vibration to a positive vibration. And so for many of you, your success with the Algor-WIN system is 100% your ability to get out of a negative vibration and increase it, increase it, increase it, because at the positive vibration, you begin to attract the life you wish for yourself. So the most important piece I can leave everybody with this program is to really focus on vibration and thoughts and energy. They are all intertwined. They are all one. Anytime you find yourself making an excuse for something, realize that any excuses in general are low vibration. Oftentimes we pick up excuses, and when I say excuses, it's an excuse as to why I didn't do something, but also excuses are those limiting beliefs. Like, I did not make $100,000 this year because the market is bad. And some of you at the end of this year are going to say, I did not make $100,000, which was my goal. I didn't make $100,000 this year because the market is off. That is not true. You did not make $100,000 because of your thinking and your belief system. Because I promise you, there are going to be many, many, many real estate agents who make $100,000 this year. There are many real estate agents who are making $500,000 this year. There are many agents making $1 million plus this year. So your excuses are low vibration, and they are taking you away from the path that you should be on. Remember how remarkable it is that you're even here. The odds of you being here as a human being are so low, like it's magic that you're even here. So why do you want to dim that magic with an excuse as to why you can't do something? So this journey is all about changing the way you think and starting to look for proof that you're more than you even thought you were. And I promise you are. You are way more. You are magic. You have the ability to attract whatever you want in your life. And as you start to pay attention to the magic and the synchronicity and your ability to attract by better utilizing your energy, as you begin to practice this, your brain will begin to rewire itself. You will become a person that thinks and believes differently than you believe today. In fact, many of you are a different person already from where you were 12 weeks ago. You think and you have beliefs that are different than what you had 12 weeks ago. If you keep practicing this and looking for evidence of your magic, it is going to keep changing, and you're going to continue to rewire the way that you think. Keep repeating new thoughts and behaviors, and you reshape your neural pathways. So anytime you notice yourself making an excuse for yourself, such as a limiting belief, like, I can't do this because I have no money. I can't do this because I don't have a college education. I can't do this because I don't have a big network of people. Excuse, excuse, excuse. It is almost never true. Where you have to ask yourself, is it true? Where did the excuse come from? What's the payoff for holding on to this excuse? What would my life look like if I couldn't use this excuse? Could I create a new thought instead? What is my inner calling telling me? And what's the worst that could happen if I just let the excuse go? I'm deciding to no longer believe that excuse anymore. What is the worst that could happen? So, habitual thinking will end up moving towards conscious choice. Many of us have habitual thinking. That's what we're trying to change. We want to be able to make conscious choices for our lives. We want to get rid of the limiting beliefs, because those limiting beliefs were planted into us by somebody else at a very young age, probably. And we're going to start practicing empowering beliefs. And we're going to stop focusing on fear-based excuses, and we're going to focus on spiritual alignment. We're going to align ourselves with the source energy that allows us to attract literally whatever we want in the entire world. So, success means aligning with your highest self. Any excuses you have are from the ego, which is your ego is small, fearful. It is a limited version of you. The solution is to live from a higher self, because the higher you, the magic you that was born into this world, which is a miracle in and of itself, you are a living miracle, is fearless and limitless and deeply connected to purpose. So that is the person that we want to be listening to, not the ego. So if you think about this, when you're driving your car, when you are driving your car every day, your car goes where you're looking. So if I want to drive straight ahead, my car is going to drive straight ahead. If I'm going to take a right, I'm going to start turning right because I'm looking right. Your car goes where your vision goes. So too with your life. Your life goes where your thoughts are. Your thoughts are your vision. So if you spend your days focused on worry, fear, I don't know where my next paycheck's going to come, I don't know how I'm going to get a new customer, if that is where your vision is planted, then you are only getting more of that. Your life, it's your life. You go wherever, it will go wherever your thoughts go. So your thoughts must be constantly focused on the good, the opportunity. Let go of the fear. Trust that everything will unfold magically, and let go of the illusion of control. So think about how you came into this world, that you didn't worry about whether you would be born with a nose or whether you would be born with the ability to walk, whether, like, you don't worry about that. It was all magic. You became you by magic. You did not have to worry about assembling yourself. You didn't earn your way to having sight and lungs and a smile. You came into the world as pure perfection, exactly as you were supposed to. And then over time, this ego comes out in you, and you start, the world start, or people start to tell you stories about who you are and what is possible for you. And you, the ego starts to believe it. And the ego says, I am going to do it. Just trust the magic. Don't let your ego be in control of everything. You were created by source energy. So there is an organizing intelligence behind all life. That is for sure. We know that we can't be here by accident. It's too magic. And you are a product of that magic. Every tree, every ocean wave, and every newborn child is born of this source energy. And your life force is a continuation of its unfolding. So the moment you start trying to take over, the moment you start trying to strive or fix yourself or improve yourself, the moment you start to control, is the moment that you begin to question your own perfection and try to manage what is not yours to control. Don't let the ego take the wheel. The ego tells you that you are not enough. It is the ego that has those little voices in you. Your job is to prove how divine you are. And when your ego is telling you you can't do something or it's not possible, it's your job to go prove it wrong. What if you could return to the knowing you had before the world told you who to be? The same force that formed your body still flows through you today. You are not separate from the divine. You are an extension of it. The energy of the present moment. So every moment carries energy with it. And that energy either moves you towards your desire or away from them. The present moment thoughts and emotions are a frequency in and of themselves. That frequency attracts experiences that match it. This is one of the most important pieces of the entire Algor-WIN program. What you are feeling right now, the thoughts that you are having in the present moment, you are attracting in your future. So the thoughts you have at this moment, so think about that. If your thoughts right now are focused on lack or not enough, or that you don't know how you're going to pay your mortgage next week, or any of that, that is what you are attracting for your future. If your thoughts right now are on your high vibration, the magicalness of you, that you have such magic built in you because you are part of source energy, then imagine what you can create. Imagine what you can attract. Fear and worry generate massively low vibrations, which repel abundance. In my opinion, this is why many real estate agents never achieve their dreams, because fear and worry, they live in fear and worry. They live in fear and worry. They live in fear and worry. And that fear and worry generates low vibration. And so they live in a status of repelling abundance. Fear is future focused. So fear isn't about what's happening now. It's about what might happen. Fear is a projection into the unknown. It creates stories that haven't happened yet. These stories end up draining your energy and clouding your intention. And worry blocks your flow. Worry is such a misuse of your imagination. So that's how you repel abundance, is that you're using your imagination to attract the worst. So instead of using your imagination to imagine all that is possible for you, because you came from magic, you are magic, instead of using that energy and you focus on fear and where's the money going to come from, I don't have this, I lack this, I don't have this. You are misusing your imagination, and so you're repelling the abundance that was meant for you. Manifestation happens through alignment. You manifest from the energy you hold right now, not from your wish list. So you end up attracting who you are as a human being. High energy emotions like peace, trust, joy, and love open the door to receiving. The clearer your vibration, the more aligned your reality becomes. It's interesting in the real estate business, if you feel stressed, like if you just sitting there, notice how you feel. Because if you're worried about money or worried about how you're going to pay your bills, you can feel that and imagine that you just let it go. Like, I'm choosing not to worry about that today. Just today, I'm going to not worry about that. Just let it go. And I'm going to trust that the magic that made me in the world and brought me into the universe, that magic is going to take care of the problem. And if you can wake up and do that every day, the magic that brought you into the world will take care of the problem. The present moment is the portal to an amazing future. The only time and place you can manifest is at the moment. So that is why your present thoughts are so important. It is the portal to everything you want. Your presence equals power. When you are fully present, your energy is centered and creative. In the present, you reconnect with your true ability to create. If in your present moment you are feeling worry or doubt or fear, you have just given away the present. You have given it away to a future. And so the only time you can manifest is in the present. Do not waste the time with worry or fear. Focus on the present moment. If you can shift your energy, you can shift the outcome of your business, your life. That means shifting your emotional state. So instead of worrying, just trust the magic that brought you into this world. You are a divine miracle. If you trust that and trust that what did that will also take care of any other problem you have, just trust. Let go of your fear. Replace fear with curiosity. Replace doubt when you feel doubt, just focus on the gratitude. Worry doesn't prevent tomorrow's problem. It drains your magic of today. You are manifesting your future only in the present. So that is why I say your present thoughts are the currency of your future. So everything that you want in the future is a byproduct of your present thoughts. If your present thoughts are focused on worry or fear or anxiety or financial problems or whatever, you have just spent your thought on something that is not going to bring you the dreams that you wish for yourself. And then practice radical humility. That means just let go of your ego. The voice that tells you, I am what I have, I am what I do, I am what others think of me. This is a huge barrier to peace and enlightenment. Radical humility is the deliberate dismantling of your ego. You are not your accomplishments. You are not better or worse than anyone else. You do not need to prove yourself or your worth to anyone. And you are not separate from others. You are connected to everybody. Be secure in who you are. So radical humility is not about shrinking yourself. It's about being so secure in your value and your worth that you do not need to like win an argument. You do not need to be, you don't need the recognition. You don't need the applause. You don't need to be right. Just stay grounded in the truth that we are all here to grow and love and to learn. And then surrender. So build rapport with the source that brought you to who you are today, who brought you into the world. And surrender to something greater than you. Some of you will call it God. Some of you, it is the universe. Some of you, you call it source. Some of you call it spirit. It is all the same. It is magic. And when you recognize that you're just a channel of this, you are not the source of your success. You are just a channel for your success. You are a channel for your talents and blessings, and you will develop rapport with the source, the magic that made you. When you feel good during the challenging times, when you start to see synchronicities everywhere, you will know that you are in rapport with the source energy. Source does not speak in noise. So one of the things when the market, for example, gets a little crazy or the world gets crazy, just try to find some time to speak and feel quietness and stillness. Source energy does not speak in noise. It speaks in whispers. So find time, even if it's to just go for a short walk in nature, to let the source flow through you. And then we've said this almost every single of the 12 classes we've done. Most important thing you can do is guard your thoughts, because your thoughts are energy and your thoughts create your vibration. And so if you're living in worry or doubt or your limiting beliefs, you're creating negative or low vibrations. Instead, just lead with love. Love is the frequency of the source. So any moment that you choose kindness over control, or patience over panic, service over self-interest, you're moving closer to source energy. So rapport isn't something you build, it's something that you just return to. And then last, think from the end goal. So the last piece of advice I have for you is, as you think about what your big goal is in life or in your business, I want you to think about what your energy has to look like daily in order to attract that. Who do you have to become to attract the life you want? I want you to visualize daily and see yourself at the end state once you've achieved your big goal, and live in it for a few minutes every day, visualizing yourself living the life as if you've already gotten it. Speak as if. Use language that affirms the result. So when you're speaking about your goals, I am instead I hope. You don't, when you say I hope or I want, those could be considered as lack to the universe. So you never want to speak in terms of lack. You are what you are. Even if the result has not advanced itself yet, maybe you want to be $100,000 a year earner, you are already that person. You are a top producer. Gratitude in advance. Constantly thank the universe, God, the source for everything. Look around you every day. We have this built into the Algor-WIN checklist as well, because gratitude is the fastest way to increase vibration. And then act accordingly. Make decisions like the person who is already the version of you that has accomplished your goals. And then to stay the course, just keep your course book out. You guys all have the Algor-WIN course book. So best way to stay the course in the program is to always have your book out, always be working off of your checklists, building those repeatable patterns and habits that will change your business and your life. And again, don't forget the stuff that isn't business. Make sure you do those gratitude practices. Make sure that you schedule out your vacations and your time for yourself, because all of that goes into building the energy of the person you wish to become. So, I have about 5 minutes, so if anybody has questions, I can take them. But if you have questions for me on literally anything that has to do with the program, raise your hand. I'll take your questions. And in the meantime, if you've accomplished all 12 weeks of the program, we have a certificate that we'd like to email you. You just go to layerrealty.com/certificate. And there's a form there with just 3 questions about the program so that we can continue to improve upon it for the future. And once you fill that out, it will email us and we'll create the certificate for you and email it back to you so that you have it and you can share it in your listing presentations and buyer presentations, etc. And that was layerrealty.com/certificate. And with that, let's see if we have any questions. Let's see. I don't see any. Easy crowd. All right. I think we are done with 12 weeks of Algor-WIN. I want to congratulate everybody for participating. 12 hours of time is no easy feat. So I appreciate that you spend so much time in your business, and keep us posted. Let us know what your results are as you begin to build this unbelievable business and life for yourself. Thank you, everyone.